Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Thursday, February 13. In Squiz Kids Today, Invictus Games inspire the world. Monkey causes Sri Lankan blackout. The Harry Potter bin bargain and Squiz-E the Newshound's world tour. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
And it's a great big Squiz Kids hello from me as I make my podcast debut for the year. I've been travelling overseas on official Squiz Kids business, but more of that in a minute. I trust you're all well, and I can't wait to spend another great year together. And what better way to start the year than with a lowdown about a most inspiring sporting event that's taking place in Canada this week. It's called the Invictus Games, and it was dreamt up by none other than Prince Harry, the son of King Charles. It's like the Olympics, with different countries competing for medals in a range of sporting events. But the twist is that all of the competitors are servicemen and women who have been wounded, injured, or are sick from having served their countries. So what does served their countries mean? It means that these are people who joined the armed forces in their country and maybe found themselves going to war and being injured. As a result, some of the athletes in the Invictus Games are in wheelchairs, or maybe only have one leg or one arm. All of them, though, have one thing in common, and that is a determination to not let their disability define them, or limit what they can achieve. The games happen every 2 years, and this year they're taking place in Vancouver and Whistler in Canada, where, because it's winter, they've added some winter sports for the first time, including snowboarding and wheelchair curling. Australia has a team competing at the games, and over the weekend they won the medal for the cheekiest gift for Prince Harry, a pair of budgie smugglers.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Sri Lanka, where the entire country was thrown into darkness on Sunday after a monkey climbed into a power station. Yes, that's right. A cheeky monkey found its way into a vital piece of the electricity grid and caused enough damage in there that the country's 22 million people were left without power. Luckily, the power outage didn't last long and the monkey was chased out back into the trees where it belonged. Now that's what I call some serious monkey business. Ah, the dad joke alarm. Come on, you didn't think I was going to come back and not give you a dad joke to start the year, did you?
Believe it or not.
Hands up if you're a Harry Potter fan. Me too. In fact, fun fact, I visited platform 9 3/4 when I was in London just last week, and I watched people trying to run through the wall. Didn't go very well. Harry Potter is one of the most successful children's book series of all time, which is why, at an auction in London recently, a first edition copy of the first Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, sold at auction for more than $41,000. And get this, it had been found in a garbage bin. That's right, an old man was clearing out his bookshelves and turfed it into his bin, where an eagle-eyed collector found it and made a small fortune out of it. Did you know that when the first Harry Potter book was published, they only printed 500 copies because they weren't sure if anybody would find the story of a boy wizard all that interesting? The Harry Potter series has now sold more than 600 million copies. As Albus Dumbledore himself would say, Merlin's beard.
Newshounds.
Every Thursday, Squiz-E the Newshound pops his head into Squiz Kids HQ to report back on fishy things he's sniffed out on the internet. And this week, well, he's dusting off his suitcase and sliding his passport back into his top pocket after having joined me on a round-the-world trip. So, why was Squiz-E travelling the world? Because I was given something called a Churchill Fellowship, which is a grant to travel the world and visit other countries too, in my case, to see how media literacy is being taught to school kids just like you in all corners of the globe. And you'll be excited to learn that kids just like you are being taught to stop, think, and check, as Squiz-E always tells us to do, whenever we're online, in countries as far away as Finland, France, Estonia, the UK, and all over the United States. And everywhere that Squiz-E went, he was welcomed with open arms for the excellent work he does teaching Aussie kids how to spot fake news and misinformation when they're online. Now he and I are going to be locked away in a podcast studio producing a series about our trip, so keep your ears peeled for that. And in the meantime, the start of the school year is an excellent time for your teacher to incorporate Newshounds into their teaching schedule for the year. Newshounds is the free classroom media literacy program helping kids tell online fact from fiction. Check it out at squizkids.com.au.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. In which country did a cheeky monkey cause a nationwide blackout? That's right, it was Sri Lanka. Question number 2. Name the prince responsible for the creation of the Invictus Games. Well done if you said Prince Harry. Question number 3. What's the name of the first Harry Potter book? That's right, it's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Shout-outs.
It's Thursday, February 13. Today is Galentine's Day, the day before the Festival of Love that is Valentine's Day. So, what happens on Galentine's Day? Well, girls acknowledge the great female friends that they have in their lives, because friends are all important. Today is also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Justin from Ivanhoe, Marty from Wheelers Hill, and Emily from Cheltenham. And belated birthday shout-outs to Spencer from Albury West and Priscilla from Brisbane. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Class 5-6 ME and Miss Ibe at Toowoomba North State School, Class 4A with Miss Louisa at Mark Oliphant College in Monopara West, Class 6A with Mrs. Graham at Bradbury Public School, Class 5-6HS with Mrs. Hampton and Ms. Squires at Mittagong Public School, and finally to Room 33 with Mrs. Grieve at Salisbury Heights Primary School, who are heading off on school camp on Monday. Have fun! Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow with the Kids vs. Adult Weekly News Quiz. Your chance to prove who's been paying the most attention to the week that just was. In the meantime, friends, get out there and have yourselves a most excellent day. Over and out.